We're the United States of America. Unity and oneness is what we're made of. One nation under God, it's plain to see. We're showing the whole world what a country should be. United we stand in America, hand in hand in America. Together as one in a land that we love. United we stand in America.
Good morning, everyone out there. Welcome to Changing Times. It is a beautiful day, even though it's gray and cloudy and has been raining and a little cooler today. That's why I've got a long sleeve shirt on today. But we have got a great show lined up. I am Lynn Morris. We are live at the Axe Media Group headquarters in Springfield, Missouri. And I'm sure hoping that Dr. Mary Byrne, I did not have time. As Courtney knows, I didn't even call her last night or send her an email and check on her. And Dr. Chris here, I've been a little bit behind, and I needed to check on Dr. Mary Byrne. She's our co-host, and the session is over up in Jefferson City. They passed 98 bills, I think. Sometimes the fewer bills they pass up in Jefferson City, the better off we are. And that means we don't spend as much money, but sometimes they forget to pass some bills that we need to have passed. But anyway, so Dr. Mary Byrne should be back next week, and we'll be the team again. So we wanted to talk about that. But today, I want you to know, and I want to do a shout out real quick too. So I've got some people that are watching today. We're going to start doing that because I'm getting some responses from people, and one of your best friends, Courtney, is Laura Marquis. Used to be Laura Bingham. I knew her as Laura Bingham, and she's a great lady, and she works. I don't think that sounds like an interesting job, but I know that she works for the Bowel and Bladder Institute of America. See, that doesn't really sound too interesting to me. I don't need any more bowel problems, and I don't need bladder problems either. Even at my age, I don't need that stuff, okay? So anyway, good morning to Laura. We also have two other people, Mandy Gray down in Forsyth. She works for Good Shepherd. She's watching our show today. And then Brenda Porterfield. She's my legal assistant, administrative assistant at Greene County Courthouse. And she's actually probably the best employee I've worked with in the time I've been in Ozark at the courthouse. So anyway, I really appreciate those people. And I appreciate everybody else watching. Real quick, write this down. Have a pencil and paper. We're going to be talking about some things that you might want to write down and share with other people in this country, okay? We got people watching all over the country, and we want to share good things with other people. So write down 4321 ACTS, ACTS, at gmail.com. 4321 ACTS, ACTS, gmail.com. And if you'll do that right now, sometime today or tomorrow, the first 5 people, we're still watching for some more people. We have plenty of books now. Conrad Griggs is going to give us some more books with Regent Bank. 94X is a book that will make a difference in your life, okay? It's a Christian faith book, and you can get that book free. Dennis and I will send it. I will spend the money to send it to you. I don't care where you live. I want you to get that book. I want you to read it and share it with other people, okay? So there's the first assignment right there, but you may want to write other things down. So here's what we're going to do about it. We've been talking about suicides. We've been talking about autism. We've been talking about things that people don't want to talk about, but we have to, because we need to solve the problems. We need to be positive. We need to help people. And so today, we're going to be talking about foster children. A lot of people, again, want to put their head in the sand. They don't want to talk about foster children. They've got their family. They don't seem to understand or care. But we have got to take care of a growing problem in this country. It's our society, and we have to figure out how to help these kids. If you don't help these kids as they're growing up, what chance do they have in this country? And they may be more of a problem than ever to the rest of us, and we owe it to these kids to help them. So today, I've got two guests. I've got Dr. Chris Berger.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that name, don't you? Berger, yeah, but I answered a Berger and Berger, but Berger is the correct pronunciation.
Berger is correct. Courtney set me straight, and so
Thank you, Courtney.
so I thought, well, it's Berger, and I got that. And he's the executive director of FosterAdopt Connect. Is that right?
That is correct.
Yeah, FosterAdopt Connect. It's actually probably in Missouri area. It is probably the largest nonprofit organization that's really working to solve the problem and connecting parents and grandparents, getting people that can help raise a child. And help a child, and so we're going to do that, and then we've got. I'm trying to think. Now I've lost your first name.
Courtney.
Courtney
I can
Meek.
pronounce it too.
Courtney Meek. Courtney Meek. We've got Courtney Meek, and I sat across from both of these people just a few weeks ago. Judge Jessica Cruz, a good friend of mine and judge down in Greene County, had a meeting, and we were talking about situations like this, and they were right across from me, and I was intrigued by what they do and how they help people. They're difference makers. A lot of you all out there are difference makers, and I'm challenging you today. You need to be a difference maker if you're not. You can be all kinds of difference makers. All kinds of things that help people makes you a difference maker. But so Courtney, let's kind of get started. You're the recruiting manager, right?
Yeah, so I am the recruitment programs manager for Southern Missouri. I am in charge of 3 programs, but the gist of those programs is when kids are in foster care, we are looking for family and kinship friend placements. Anybody that has a relationship with the child that could be a support for the family while they go through the child welfare system.
Well, so one of the things we talked about before the show started was there's a lot of children. People don't realize the numbers we're talking about. So, and Chris, you were mentioning, so one of the numbers, Greene County. So how many people in Greene County?
We serve the greater Greene County area, but in our child abuse and neglect collaborative, in fact, we have a meeting tomorrow. That is a number everybody focuses on, and in my nearly 2-year tenure now with FosterAdopt Connect, FAC, I may say, but that's a number, I kind of got fixated on, and even in my tenure, I've seen that number grow from what was 750, and then there was these warnings that it was going to be approaching potentially 800, and now we've hit 800 just in Greene County.
800, and then Courtney, we were talking about how many in the state of Missouri.
So in the state of Missouri, anywhere from 12,000 to 14,000 children in foster care at any time. That can fluctuate.
Wow. So folks, think about it. This is the state of Missouri. Missouri is a small state. We have about 6.2 million people in this state. There's a lot of states that are a lot bigger than that. So if the states that are a lot bigger than that, in proportion, if they have more kids, which they probably do, we got a lot of problems. We have issues that we need to take care of, and you can make a difference in a child's life. There's all kinds of. So, Courtney, what kind of reasons are we seeing out there that we have children that need foster parenting?
So a lot of the reasons that children might come into care might be for physical or sexual abuse, but also neglect. We see struggles with poverty and mental health being some of those factors, causing those stressors, substance abuse. Those are kind of the main factors of why there's safety concerns that the child would need to be removed from their home.
And then sometimes divorce,
Correct.
family issues, and probably sometimes deaths. You don't want to
Yes.
think about it,
Oh,
but
absolutely.
young parents and even older parents have car accidents. I had a car accident in front of me today, and I'm thinking, well, I'm glad I left a little earlier because the highway traffic on 65 was backed up 3 lanes, and I'm thinking, well, that's not good, but it cleared off pretty quick, and so I got up here. But no, so accidents happen.
Overdose.
There's overdoses.
Yes. And Lynn, you know, just like society, anything categorized as a stressor, and you know, you can just use logical sense. What would stress a family? It could be finance or all those things Courtney mentioned. But when you see that on whether it be a national level or a local level, whether there's things stressing us nationally, you're going to see the need go up. If you see things even locally that occur for Greene County or whatever county, you'll see it goes proportionate. You know, there's going to be more need. There's going to be more kids subject to going to state care at that time.
Yeah, and you guys work with schools.
Sure.
I mean, that's important. The parent, I'm sure the school system knows which kids are foster kids. They have to know something about that, the counselors and people. You guys are coordinating all that.
Yeah, the director of counseling for Springfield Public Schools sits on our advisory board. So,
Right.
yeah, and I'm a former educator. I'm a retired educator. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we are deeply connected to the schools. It's a great resource for us to identify problems and provide resources.
Yeah, I just looking at your bio, sir, you've been in education a long time, superintendents, you've been finance director. I saw you've done several different stints as superintendent in
Yep.
different schools and things like that. So you did a superintendent job down by Bakersfield, Missouri.
Oh, it's my home county. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dora is
Yeah.
Gainesville's my hometown.
Yeah.
Dora, Ozark County is my home county. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
know that
Well,
know that area
my family is, a lot of my family members is buried down at county line.
Okay.
And we used to have hundreds of people at Memorial Day weekend down
Yeah.
there at a big cookout and
Sure.
stuff like that. But my folks lived over at Bakersfield for
Sure.
a while and then moved to West Plains.
So I was raised by my aunt and uncle in Gainesville. My uncle's still alive. I plan to see him this weekend. And I am what Courtney mentioned there earlier, kinship placement. But I was an unofficial kinship placement. I mean,
Yeah.
I never went into state custody. My mother was in crisis. I lived with my aunt and uncle for a short stint. Mother cycled back to that crisis. And then I was raised permanently with my aunt and uncle. So, yeah.
So you know because from the education side and your own
Yep.
personal family experiences, you know what these people go through. One of
Absolutely.
the things that I thought was interesting, and I'm not sure which group did that, but I went up to something in Springfield where we got on a bus and and you'll know probably what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I do.
And they gave us a plastic bag.
Yes.
A big old plastic bag, and
That's
they told us we had, I don't remember, 5 minutes, 10 minutes or whatever, and we were supposed to, we were in this room and we were supposed to act like we were picking up our own personal things,
Right.
and then they were taking us.
Yeah, so that's actually FosterAdopt Connect.
Yeah.
They used to do a live simulation.
Yeah, that's what I did. I participated at one time.
Yeah, so we pretend that you're the foster child, and most of the time when kids are removed, they don't have time to pack their things. It is immediate, and we don't have suitcases just laying around, so it gets thrown in a trash bag, and that's sometimes how the kid comes to the foster home.
That's most times how the kid comes to the foster. So that's kind of a known in our social work world, and as a foster. So we were also a foster home, my wife and I, and adopted 4 beautiful daughters out of foster care. But yeah, that's the typical thing is they come with, I'll say, trash bag or Walmart
Yeah.
bags full, and not a lot, Lynn. I mean, if you get a stuffed animal, a blanket is always
Maybe.
seems a blanket's always in there, a security blanket, and these kids just don't come to our foster homes or our kinship placements with a lot.
Well, that's traumatic.
It's
Folks,
traumatic,
think
yeah.
about how traumatic
Scary.
that is, and most of us don't have to put up with that. I was just telling the group here today that I was having a little trouble getting my leg connected. So most of you, 99% of you out there watching today, you're blessed. You've got two legs, and you're just going to walk out the door today if you go to work or go play someplace. You're blessed. I had a hard time getting my leg to connect today where I could go out the door, and so we have to think about that. So let's talk about the Springfield facility a little bit. How many employees you have, and
We'll typically our biggest program is called Behavioral Interventionist, and we'll have about 30, 35 in there. But at our physical facility, we think we typically will have about 30 full-time staff there. But if you came in on any given time, you might see 10 people, 10 or 12, because the majority of our folks are in the field. And so that's kind of what it looks like there on site at our offices.
so do they go around and visit the homes and things like that too? And
Yes, we
Absolutely.
go directly into the community, and we want to meet the families where they are. So we'll come right into their home and help connect them with whatever resources they need. And circling back, one of our programs that's also really helpful is Sammy's Window. So
Yeah.
when kiddos come in and they have that trash bag and they may only have a blanket and a shirt, Sammy's Window is a place that families can come and they shop like a real store. They can pick out, we take gently used and new clothing, diapers, socks, brand new underwear, things like that, and they can come free of charge and shop each month. And that gives them some dignity. It gives them, everybody else gets to go out and shop. I want to pick out my own clothes too. And we also have a food pantry that helps, stretch the dollar, because Missouri actually is one of the lowest paying states for foster parent reimbursement. So our Sammy's Window is to help stretch that dollar. We have hygiene items, things like that. Families can come and shop.
it's kind of sad, Courtney. As a state rep for 8 years, I think that we love Missouri. We wouldn't live in Missouri if we didn't love Missouri. But I've always thought that we come in last in some of the things that we do. Teachers are education is so important. I fought for public education my 8 years that I was involved in Jefferson City, and I realized teachers don't get paid enough. In fact, social workers don't get paid. I mean, there's so many people that are important people, law enforcement, first responders, a lot of people that save lives, that make lives better. They don't get paid enough. Then I watched the NBA playoff last night with New York Knicks and Cleveland, and those guys are paid millions,
Yes.
sometimes 40, 50, 60 million dollars a year, and everything's all messed up.
Lynn, I want to jump on what Courtney caught me there, because you asked about our facility, and that's the most tangible program we have is our Sammys. And most people in the foster network will know Sammys. You may not even recognize FosterAdopt Connect, and then, is that the place with the Sammys? Yeah. And so our store is right there. None of our programs, we don't have a charge for any of our programs, but certainly our most tangible is Sammys, and Stephanie Daniels, our program director there, is phenomenal, and she does a great job.
So those clothes and toys and everything that you can give away, how do you get them? People make donations?
Yes.
Okay.
And we help write grants. So sometimes we can
grants.
write grants for socks or hygiene items, things like that. So we're always searching for grants. But then people can donate gently used items to us.
So this is the first.
Yep.
We're going to have several. That's why I wanted you to have a pencil and paper. This is one of the first things. If you live in Southwest Missouri, if you live somewhere else in this country and you're blessed and you have a lot of money, you could send some money to them too. But you also may have someplace in your state that needs help.
Absolutely.
So I want you to make sure. How would people contact you all?
So our facility's in Springfield, Missouri, and they can get through to us on our website,
Yep.
www.FosterAdopt.org.
Okay.
We also are in many other locations in all of Missouri.
And we have 15
partially-
branches in Springfield, or, excuse me, in Missouri.
Yeah, so
15
15
branches.
15
Okay.
branches all over Missouri and moving into Kansas
Okay.
as well. So just continuing
Okay.
to see the need.
And the website's on the screen too.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
thank
Their
you. That's
website's,
perfect.
Yes.
the website's on the screen, so that's how you can contact them.
Lynn, I like to say with Stephanie Daniels, the program director I spoke of, someone will say, how do you get all this stuff? And it's quality stuff. Stephanie says she would not want to put anything in our store that she wouldn't want her kids to shop and be
Yes.
proud to
Sure.
wear. And, so are you a partner with, Courtney mentions that we do food distribution too with Convoy. Oh yes,
Yes.
Convoy. Yeah, Ozarks Food. Oh yeah. But the impressive part is her network of people that are just individuals or church groups throughout Springfield. She's got to be one of the most deeply embedded people in the nonprofit world. She knows everybody. And so it's amazing. She's been with FosterAdopt Connect nearly 10 years. So
Wow.
since our presence in Springfield, nearly
Yeah.
she's been there. So she's just a huge asset. I want to give her props
Yeah.
there. And being that's our most tangible. We do great. We have 9 programs. None of them cost $1. But certainly the one people think of is Sammy's, because you can imagine you take on a typical scenario would be like you're on the list for foster kids, and in your mind that's like we want one, and of course we want one that's under 6 and well behaved and all. Well, by the time I talk to the social worker, I might have 4, a sibling set, right? Well, I don't have resources for that. You call Stephanie, we get you resources for that.
Wow.
And so you make an appointment, but of course, if it's an emergency, you come to FAC, we get those kids clothes because we don't know what's in that trash bag. Well, I can guarantee it's very little,
Yeah,
but we're going to get you set up with hygiene and clothes items where those kids can hit the ground running.
yeah. I never, like I said a while ago, I'll never forget the feeling that you have sitting on the very back row with some other people. I didn't know hardly any of them, so it'd be, you don't know where they're taking you to and
Right.
stuff like that. But we went to a courtroom, we went to different places and stuff like that. So there's an opportunity if you're another church group that's not participating, you could help. This group here, FosterAdopt Connect, you could help them. That'd be a good way to do it. Let me ask you this question. So, I guess it would be easier if you're just a little boy, little girl, 6 or 8 years old, or whatever young age you are. I guess it's easier to find foster parents for just 1 or 2 people, one person, easiest.
Absolutely.
And then the more children that gets into a family, unfortunately, there's families
Absolutely.
that break up for whatever reason.
Right.
So you might have 2 or 3 brothers or sisters, or maybe you might have 4 or more.
Or you might have 8.
8.
I mean, that's not unheard of.
Yeah.
So
And
my
I guess
30 Days to Family program, I had a sibling group of 10. That's been our
Whoa,
highest.
10.
And we were able to locate a relative that actually had never met them, but they were local, and we were able to help them get beds and all of them say yes from Sammy's window so that they could take these all 9 kids in and keep,
Oh
or
my
10 kids,
gosh.
and keep the siblings together, because that's what is also super important. Kiddos sometimes, because of their behaviors or certain situations, get split up in foster care, and we, as an agency, but as the state, it's a law and requirement that you are to do everything possible to keep the siblings together.
Yeah, I would think that'd be extremely important if you can to not break up a family.
It is. Lynn, and I'll back Courtney up. She said EFF, and the Extreme Family Finder is a wonderful program. If you might expand on what that looks like. I
Sure.
think that intrigues people.
Yeah, so the 10 siblings came into our 30 Days to Family program, and that's when they first come into care. And so we want to get them placed with family because we know that they'll have fewer behaviors and fewer moves if they're placed with someone they know. So when we say family or kin, that could be a coach, it could be a youth group teacher, a pastor, anybody. We're looking for anybody that has connection to this kiddo, and then we can help you walk through the licensing process and get the things that you need so that we can place the kiddo in your home. The other program of that is extreme family finding. So when kids have lingered in foster care for so long and they don't have a permanency option, I have a group. My team is investigators and previous child welfare workers who have experience, and we build out genograms, and then we use certain software and free public sites to locate addresses and phone numbers that are related to these kiddos, and then we cold call them. We just go down the list and say, hi, how are you? We believe that you're related to a child that came into foster care. Could we talk more about that with you?
Did you know you have a niece in Webster County that has went into care? Well, I did know I had a niece in Webster County, but I didn't know they went into care.
Yeah.
And it just, I love that. I love our EFF program. I
What
love
we're
all
trying to do is build that
That's
support
amazing.
network around the kiddo and that family too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's some of God's miracles that are happening.
Yeah, there's a lot of
I mean,
success
because
stories through that program.
yeah, take a lot of work, but I
Yep.
think there's somebody higher up that's helping make this thing work. So let's just talk about, I know you have a bunch of core programs. Let's just talk about some of the ones that you think would be real interesting. I think they're all interesting. They're extremely important, but
Our programming overlaps, so Courtney is better with the details. I'll give a starter one, then another one that I know is resonant to folks, but because Lynn, you were mentioning earlier, it's probably easier with one kid. It's probably easier a younger kid.
Yeah.
What about the kid that's been in 5 different foster settings and it just hasn't stuck, And so we've got a program for.
5 is a low number.
Yeah.
My kids have been in 25 plus.
Oh,
foster
yeah,
care
yeah,
settings.
yeah.
Yeah.
So talk about
Really?
CCYT, but we shouldn't say CCYT. We should.
Community Connections Youth Thrive, or CCYT is what we call it, serves our young adults. So 17 to 26, those kiddos that
so you do
unfortunately.
take kids up to 20.
Yeah, so the state of Missouri, actually, if you're a foster youth and you age out or you get adopted after 16, you can actually get Medicaid and aftercare services until the age of 26.
Wow. Okay.
So, and kiddos can stay in foster care and age out at the age of 21 here in Missouri.
Okay.
Some states might be 18, but here in Missouri it's 21. And so there's older youth programs to help them learn those skills. We have a driving program. They'll help them with interviewing, locating housing if that's the case. They can help them.
Courtney, I'm going to interrupt you because I want to underscore this. So we have a car where our kids learn to drive.
Okay.
And so, a few years ago during I have to go back to, I think it was the mid 2000s when a lot of particularly rural school districts lost driver's ed because of funding. Well, it never came back. Now there's been some movement on that actually this session to bring that back, and some school districts do have that. But so whenever I start to work at FAC, I see this little car over there. What's that for? That's what we do. That's where we teach kids to drive. I'm like, we have someone that teaches our CCYT program, which is amazing,
Yeah,
So
that's-
I wanted to underscore that. Sorry, I get
Absolutely.
excited
No,
about
that's
that.
fine. And one thing that's really awesome about our CCYT program is that the workers there actually have lived experience.
Okay.
So one of those requirements is that they've been in foster care at some point and have had to age out and figure out how to become a young adult and take care of themselves. So they really can relate to the kiddos that are in that same situation.
Budgeting, applications,
Yes.
college applications, we're there to find where their need is and navigate those kids to success.
Well, that's
I think they call it adulting.
Adulting.
Yes.
They should call it adulting instead of CCYT. You
Yeah.
definitely use that.
Learning
as a
adult
synonym.
responsibilities.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, too. Kiddos that are aging out at 21, a lot of them are aging out to homelessness.
Yeah.
Okay, and
That's another
That's-
serious problem.
Oh,
that shouldn't happen because we have programs where that can help them get into those apartments and different types of vouchers that they qualify for. But there's lots of many reasons for that. Sometimes kiddos don't like rules and they choose to, not want to be in the home.
Right.
And so one of our other programs is our Youth Connect Center, which helps serves 13 to 21 families and youth that are experiencing housing instability. So we have a center that they can come in and hang out at. They can do their laundry. They can get a meal. They can then also access services.
Right downtown Springfield, pool table, video games, pool
The
table
kids
isn't
can
touched.
hang out. all
Pool table's not
day.
touched unless I visit down there, and then I got, some will come over and play pool with me, but you, but more of the video games and just a low barrier, safe place for kids to be that hang out.
So that's a great thing too.
Oh, it's a
yeah.
great thing.
And we love when we try to serve a hot meal at night. So we partner with those church groups and those
Yeah.
other group volunteers who can come and make a meal for our kids, because that might be the only hot meal that they get that day.
Well, that's amazing. Do you guys have any connection with Dogwood Ranch down in Christian County?
Not direct. I
Not
mean,
direct.
I've seen them present one time and knew some of the work they do,
Yeah.
and that's what we do. Is we're constantly networking to see
Yeah.
if we have a client, a kid, a family who those services might benefit.
There are friends of ours, and of course they're in Christian County, and
Yes.
they, interesting enough, they built a couple of little homes.
Yeah.
You know, they do girls only, and then they built a couple of little homes so the two girls could, so when they age out of the system, but they're really not ready to go out on their own.
Right.
And so two girls can live in one of the little homes, and they learn how to take care of themselves and get a job and
Yeah.
buy a car and just all the
Adulting.
things they gotta do. Yeah, the adulting that you guys are talking about, they still need that support. Or
Definitely.
otherwise, they're gonna go into some bad
Yeah.
things that, and so I think that is really important, what you guys do. What other kind of programs do you guys have?
Yeah, so we have our parent support and prevention program. So that is, again, kind of what it says, parent support and prevention. We're trying to help kids not come into foster care. because-
Upstream of kid going into state custody.
Absolutely.
You know,
And we're trying to help
intervention.
avoid that.
Okay.
So that's what our prevention services. It's also, they have sometimes like support groups, and again, connect them with resources, help talk to the schools, just help, see if it's really a safety issue or if it's accessing some services that we can help them get, putting in with therapy or any, medical things, financial help, budgets. We can help with that. So.
Kinship navigator.
Our kinship
and Lynn, why
navigator.
that might, an earlier conversation we had offline was, where's the grandparents' role? Well, it's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
very prominent.
Yes.
Courtney, and that's in kinship navigator. We see that a lot, right?
Right. So our kinship navigation program is for those family members that are taking care of children that they did not biologically have. And so the point of that, again, is to, when kiddos come into care and my program comes and finds you and you say yes, and then you go, okay, now what does any of this mean? What does the court dates mean? What do these lingos, family support team meetings, who's a guardian ad litem, who's a juvenile officer, how many court hearings are we gonna have? This person's gonna help you navigate that, because it's a lot of stuff
That's
going on
scary
at once.
stuff
And
for
it's
people.
scary, absolutely.
They don't know what those words mean.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, that's one of our other programs that really helps with that. We talked a little bit about those behavior intervention program. We have skilled, trained staff that will help go into the homes when those kiddos have those extreme behaviors. Kiddos that are removed from their home, no matter what, it's traumatic, and it causes more mental health and behavioral health issues. When we can help get a behavioral interventionist in the home, it helps keep kids out of hospitals and out of residential placements, and it prevents the moves. Like I said, one of my kiddos we worked with, he had over at least 25 plus moves in and out. But luckily my extreme family binding team came on, and we were able actually to locate a former residential staff, and they started visits, and we talked to both of them. This kiddo was 16, been in care since 2017. Talked to both of them. They were both in agreement that they wanted to make it forever. So we helped them do those steps, and we got this kiddo adopted 6 months before he turned 18. So he didn't have to age out in foster care. He didn't have to navigate young adulthood on his own. He's got a dad now who's gonna step up and help him do that.
Wow. See, that's amazing. That's amazing. I know on the outline, Courtney, you gave me, and I appreciated that, you had a part in there about spotlighting maybe stories on recruitment.
Yeah.
Tell us about one.
I'll tell you probably about one of my favorites because it is a career lifetime thing to watch. One of our kiddos, we started working with him. He was 8 at the time, which is usually younger, kind of than what we normally work with in extreme family finding. We normally serve 12 to 16 as our average. But he had a lot of challenges. He'd been in a lot of placements, at least 15 or more. And he also had a lot of mental health challenges. When we came on the case, we start building a family tree. So we start back. His parental rights were terminated on him because the parents were continuing to use substance use, and that was just still a struggle for them. So the rights were eventually terminated, but this kiddo is still lingering in care. So we try to go back to that drawing board, which is what we did. We actually found mom. She's local. She's 4 years sober. She's remarried and had a baby with no safety concerns or hotlines. We pitched it to the team. They were open to it. We actually got behavioral intervention and on board to help with that transition, reintroducing mom to his life. But with all of those steps, keep in mind her rights are terminated. The team is still going, we think this is going to be the best option for him. So we were able to reach out. FosterAdopt Connect was able to reach out to her prior attorney, and he agreed to represent her in the adoption case for that pro bono. We also knew that there was going to be some court costs that came with that. So FosterAdopt Connect was able to advocate through our Brock Schmidt grant that we got to pay for that. And we were able to support her to regain her rights of her child. She had readopted him. And that
amazing.
Happened in September. And it just gives me goosebumps every time I say that
I'm
story.
hanging on in here, but
And there's still challenges.
Yeah.
We still check in with them, help them navigate the school system
And how
because of
old is
his
he now?
behaviors. He's 10 or 11 now, I think.
Amazing.
So it's still a struggle, but we're still there for her even after. That's part of our kinship navigation, our prevention, where we all come together as a group to wrap around services for
the state's goals, and certainly as a state partner, our goal is always reunification. Now, that's an exceptional reunification
Yes.
story, for sure.
It doesn't happen very often. We did have the same story, though, happen at our headquarters location this year. So I hope to see more because it just shows that people can change.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
And even when mom was down and out and her rights were being terminated to her child, there was something in her that still said, I need to get sober.
Yeah.
And then she did.
Well, hey, let's talk about, that's just amazing. So that is, you picked the best story. That's amazing to me. So community needs. Folks, pay attention. What kind of needs do we have?
Well, we definitely need more foster homes because of the amount of kids coming into care. We do, like I said, search for family, but not all family can be safe or pass background checks that are required by the state. But we're looking to do that. We look through any types of barriers we can to help with that.
FosterAdopt Connect and certainly agencies like us are always looking for volunteers.
Yes.
What was mentioned there earlier, we always need clothes donations. Oftentimes we get people who do garage sales and bring them after, and then that turns into, we don't do garage sales anymore. We take them to FosterAdopt Connect, so they know they're going to be put to good use. We take monetary donations. We have a development department. We have a huge gala that'll be this fall. Courtney has been running point, or co-point at least, on a fundraiser because she had knew some folks from her younger days downtown that had started up a Big Slice. And so then they put their heads together. The next thing you know, we're looking at a virtual golf tournament. So those are a few things I would say. Courtney's already hit on. I'd say two things that come to my mind quick are, if you're willing. We talk to many people that say, "Oh, I couldn't do what you've done in terms of being a foster parent. It would hurt me too much when the kids go back," and that's the best hurt. That's what I tell them is, it hurts. My wife and I have cried many times, and it's good hurt, so that's not a good excuse. And I never, come back at people for that, but a lot of people are interested. They'll start the conversation and they don't follow through. So we need folks. It's the best thing can happen is you're open to being a foster parent, and you see that out, and you give that a try, and I think you'll fall in love with that, and you'll fall in love with a lot of great kids, and very fundamental. But I don't want to see kids hurt, so know the signs. If your gut tells you something's wrong in a situation, whether that be family, friends, whatever it is, report it. We don't want kids. It only gets worse.
Sure.
So let's get that hotlined. Let's get it investigated. Many times there's nothing there. It's unsubstantiated. Sorry, and but many times we might be saving children a lot of pain. So those are a handful of things that anybody, I think, can do. I say anybody. Fostering is a commitment. But if that's in your heart, explore that and see where it leads.
Well,
They don't have to be perfect, right?
No.
Oh,
And,
no.
and you don't have to be a foster parent to be supportive to
No,
our foster care
absolutely not.
community.
Yeah.
You can do a diaper drive, right? Get socks and underwear because we get brand new for hygiene purposes. Do a toothpaste drive. We accept all those things. So there's lots of ways to get involved and still be a support without having to maybe commit
Right.
all the
But
way.
I love what you mentioned. Do you have to be perfect? My goodness, we all,
No.
as parents, know. But I do think that's a great point in that you think, my goodness, my kid moved out when he was 16, moved back when he was 17, and how would I be a model? That's life. Those are the challenges that you help navigate. And so, no, they're far from perfect, all of us,
But that's what we're here for, is to help guide
Yeah.
that and stand in the gaps.
Yeah.
And we have that in the trenches mentality. We're going to be there to walk beside you.
So, yeah, someone fostering, they're not on their own, are they?
No,
They are
we're
not
here
on
to
their own.
help
That's right.
support.
That's right.
We want them to know that they're not on their own, so that they can say, okay, yep, I can see this need for this kiddo, and I don't have to do this on my own.
I feel, I'm sorry, Lynn, yes.
Well, I was just going to say, what I've heard today, when I think about parenting our 3 children, and like I said, Janet, like you all said, Janet and I were not perfect. You learn as you go, the first child and the second and third.
You do learn.
You kind of learn. That's just the way it is. And some people are probably better parents than other parents. That's just the way it is. But you love your kids, and you will get better at it. So, and I love the support that your group has, Foster Adopt Care, the group, because when just Jan and I, we didn't have anybody helping us
Right.
Yeah.
with the dilemmas sometimes and things like that. So actually, this is maybe even a better scenario to help kids. And kids, just think about it, folks. They are our future. Those youth, all the young people today, they may not look like the leaders of tomorrow, but they will be. Some of those people will be leading us tomorrow. So we want to help all those young people as much as we can. Now, we're going to give you the last words, both of you. We'll kind of do a call to action, last
Yes.
words. So be thinking about what you're going to say. I'm going to talk about our 2 sponsors real quick that makes this show possible. And the first one is Brad Pistow. He's a certified fiduciary financial planner located in Ozark, Missouri. He's been my sponsor 7.5 years on my political talk show, and he also has been my sponsor the entire time here. Brad Pistow is one of the best in the entire country on financial planning. He's written a couple of books. That's why you need pencil and paper. You want another free book? You want some information about retirement planning? Here you go. 417-581-9222. 417-581-9222. Now you're going to say, I don't live in Missouri. How can Brad Pistow help me? Well, first of all, he's licensed in 18 states. He knows people in all 50 states. He goes around and talks all over the country. He is a featured speaker everywhere. He writes for USA Today, financial section. He writes for Wall Street. He writes for all kinds of things, okay? He's a very smart Christian man, okay? Started off college and became a youth minister. Later on, he changed to helping people with their finances and retirement planning because his dad was a stockbroker. So he's the guy that has helped me with retirement planning. What I really love about Brad Pistow is he has a plan that you will never run out of money before you run out of your life. People worry about that all the time. As you get older, trust me, you have a lot of medical expenses. You have a lot of expenses you didn't have when you were younger, like Courtney. And so you, all of a sudden, though, you're retiring and you're thinking, oh my gosh, my income is going down, my expenses are going up. But if you pay attention to Brad Pistow, you'll never run out of money before you run out of your life, okay? So that's one thing. They also have, his son is also a licensed investment broker, and I buy stocks, I buy different investments from him, and so you can do that. They also have Medicare specialists, so they take care of all types of investments. But here's the phone number again, 417-581-9222. You call that phone number, Lisa will answer the phone. She's also licensed, she can help you, but they'll send you Safe Money Matters, Bulletproof. Those are two best-selling books on Amazon for retirement planning investments. And I'm telling you what, you won't go wrong by reading those. You can call him. He does not charge for consultations. Okay? So you can get him and you will not go wrong. Our other sponsor is Springfield Nissan, Springfield Kia. That is John Whittaker. Used to be John Youngblood. I have bought my last 3 or 4 cars from these guys. I used to buy Grand Cherokee Jeep Summits, the top of the line, because as I got older, I didn't fit into the other Jeeps as much as I liked them when they were younger. So I wanted more of a luxury car, but I also wanted one that could go off the road if I fell asleep and drove off the road. But I just bought last Labor Day. I bought a Kia Sorento. And honestly, I think that Kia Sorento has more options on it than my Summit Grand Cherokee Jeep. I love that car, and I love everything about it. I tell you what, this company in Springfield, and you're going to say right now, I don't live in Springfield, Missouri. Well, guess what? They have people from 8 different states buying cars from them every year. I know that's not 50, but it's 8 different states buy cars from Springfield Nissan, Springfield Kia. Okay? Mary Byrne, hopefully Dr. Byrne will be back next week. She just got through buying a Nissan Rogue. She just bought a Nissan Rogue. Jeremy Burns, Assessor Jeremy Burns down in the county, bought a Nissan Rogue for his wife just 2 weeks ago from these guys. They will give you a very, very good deal, and they also have a great used cars on South Campbell right across the street. Their phone number, and there's another great lady that's customer service, Susan. You call 417-882-3838. 882-3838, 417 area code. And Susan will get you to Aaron Swanson, the sales manager. She'll get you to service. She'll get you to wherever you need to be, because these guys will take care of you. They would not be my sponsor if they did not take care of you. Okay? So anyway, I'm real proud of those 2 sponsors, and I appreciate them so much. They help us all the time with collecting donations and things for other organizations. So I really appreciate them. Okay, we'll do ladies first. So last words that you want to leave our audience today.
Just call us so we can help you get involved. You can volunteer, you can donate items, you can come to some of our fundraising events. You can get involved in any of those types. We can give you information if you are curious about being a foster parent, want to know more questions. We would be happy to answer that and guide you through that.
Very good. And is there a phone number that they can call, or just look at the
I would go to our website.
Website.
Because then you can locate which area.
Okay, so you got that website on the screen, so pay attention to that, write that down before we go off the air.
Yeah, just Google FosterAdopt Connect. It'll bring you right in there.
Okay, all righty.
For me, you know, my team knows my heart lies in the rural areas. So I would say my call to action would be just if you support, if you got a heart for kids, and who does not? I mean, everybody does. Ask around and see how you can support kids in your community. I'm kind of thinking about coming from Ozark County, going through my professional career as an educator, and then finding myself, my heart came to FosterAdopt Connect. And then I find out that we have a presence in my home county, Ozark County. So we help support that food closet down in Ozark County. And I think, oh, wow, it's just such a broad network. So yeah, just see what you can do in your community and support kids. As you mentioned, Lynn, they're our future. And I love that one of you two mentioned our kids today don't look like our leaders today, but they will become our leaders. It's the truth. I certainly, if you talk to the folks in Ozark County, they would never believe that I was a superintendent. That was never going to be predicted. I had one of my friends said, one time when you were angry, Chris, you said you were so mad you were going to take over the school. I didn't think it was actually going to happen. And it happened a little differently than when I made that threat, I guess, whenever I was 15 or whatever age. So, support your local community. It's you can make a difference.
Well, I tell you what, you guys, I really appreciate you being here today. You guys are difference makers. Your entire staff is difference makers. Folks, be a good role model out there. I have always been involved in sports all the way through college sports and a little bit of pro sports on tennis. And I will tell you that I used to watch some of these basketball players and football players that they were great in sports, but they weren't very good off the court. And so they said, well, I'm not a role model. Well, they are a role model. Everybody's a role model. And so just like Chris, we're going to use him as an example. Look, somebody was molding him. Somebody was molding him into what he is today. Obviously, God was there too. And so we hope that as we leave today that you know, Lord, Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior. It will make a better day. We're praying every day, Acts Ministry, that you actually have a relationship with Jesus Christ, and it's certainly helped me. I could talk for 24 hours on exactly what my 77 years of my life have been because of Jesus Christ. Okay, we do have Acts Fest coming up in July. We'll be talking about that later on, but we're going to be doing some great patriotic things. This is America's 250th birthday coming up, and think about it. I know a lot of people, unfortunately, in our country are very dissatisfied about our country and things like that, but a lot of us still have hope and faith, and that our country is still the best. We know it's still the best country in the world, and it's all of our jobs to make it better. And so we'll be back next week, and we appreciate everybody. Be sure and share the show. Let your neighbors and friends know of the show. Help these people. Help FosterAdopt Connect. I'm telling you what a great organization.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Lynn.
Thank you so much.
We'll be back next week.